big-time plays, have to make big-time plays and big-time runs. And I thought that the man, Ohio State, did that shot counter hit, coming on the timeout. And I don't think there's a crisis here. This is not a perfect team. They started 6-7 center. You're not a perfect team if you started 6-7 center. I think, whoever he is, and let's maybe he's Wes Unseld. I love KJ. I think he's terrific. You don't have 6'11" Urban Hayes next to KJ.
They're going to speed the game up. Like I say, they've changed a little bit of their style of play. And so we're going to try to press this. We're going to take care of balls.
Many big threats from the perimeter. Leighton shot the ball incredibly well. Tony shot it well. Mason Martin is capable of a 20-point night on any given night.
He came in with 5 and 7 in a tug. Without that drive, you ain't winning a football game. That's why Bill Polian famously said his biggest regret when he was in Indianapolis was not paying top dollar for a backup.
Basically, you want to protect the practice, but you can't run press. He's not going to do that bunch of those rules and kick down the edge. I don't think he's going to do it. I think the guy said, that's what I know. Look, you got to protect the line of pocket. What else do you want to play defensively? Are you works? Do you try to... It's the one thing that immediately, everything else takes care of the defensive position. I don't know if you put something in the air. I don't think it's right in the corner.
Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Talk of the town. GreatBendPost.com. Live on the YouTube channel. We're all over at Sports Day. Steve Webster in with me on the Hump Day Show Wednesday. Joined by Mike Corson, Aaron Clark, and Mike Escher. Ready to go for a good Wednesday show today. We will be talking Great Bend Lady Panther basketball with Cindy Buck, Junior Mackenzie Priemer. You can go by either. They'll be in studio today. We're going to preview on the Firebird Classic up at Free State High School in Lawrence. It starts tomorrow. Lady Panthers take on Blue Valley. KVGB football insider Aaron Clark will preview the AFC and NFC championship games this weekend. And I'm sure he'll throw some names out that you've never heard. So we'll have a special promo on that you can call in if you know those people that he's talking about. Also joining us, the voice of Florida State Tigers, Gerard Lebrock. And our Wednesday sports headlines, but first the sounds the past 24 hours. But I need to get to the bottom of something here. And I don't think it's any of you guys, because you guys are really, really honest. But I will just say I hope whoever ate my boneless chicken wings from Casey's that were in the refrigerator will realize that I found those underneath the bed at the Bedbug Motel. They had been under there I don't know how long. Who comes in and eats my boneless chicken wings? Check the cameras, do you know?
No, have no idea.
You gotta
Let me smell it, but it wasn't me.
I smell range on his breath. What did you...
I haven't been eating much of anything here since about Sunday.
Okay, so I thought that was, when you have food in there, it's off limits, right? Especially, the chicken wings, they were still in there. I had half a thing of ranch.
Did you put your name on it?
It's in the refrigerator.
If you didn't put it in there.
It's an unwritten rule.
Obviously it's not.
Well, I'll set a trap for them next time. I'll put a bunch of laxative, thank you. That would be a good thing to do. So was it you, Mike?
I'm a big chicken wing guy.
Wasn't it Aaron?
I tell
I've
you.
seen you eat.
I was going to say,
you would have had
you would have found the remains if I'd gotten through.
someone stole my chicken wings. Anyway. Okay. And we're having a virtual meeting tomorrow for the sales staff, so for the staff meeting, so we won't be able to find out then either. So, all right, let's get going here today. More me problems here. Yesterday was Hesh's day. Today's my day for problems. Okay, sounds the past 24 hours or so. Jerome Tang saying big-time plays make big-time plays. K-State made a few last night, not enough. Iowa State shooting 57% in the first half, 62%, or for the game they shot 57%, 62.5 in the second half, and they scored 25 points off turnovers. against K-State. They win the game 80-76. And look at K-State's other Big 12 loss coming to TCU is a lot of the same thing, scoring. TCU's got a lot of buckets off turnovers. Kansas State trying to extend its best start since the 1961-62 season. They fall to 6-2 in the Big 12. Had a chance, if everything's sort of falling right, to have a 2-game lead. Instead, they are in a 3-way tie now for second place, or for first place in the Big 12. They're 6-2. Then there's 3 teams that are 5-3. TCU is one of those. They hammered Oklahoma last night, 79-52. So they're now tied with Baylor and Kansas. The Jayhawks have lost 3 straight. Mike DeCourcy's covered college basketball a long time, says the sky's not falling. At least just yet. What a race we have in the Big 12. DeCourcy also has had a great point. If you look right now, the Big 12 would have 6 teams that would be 4 seeds or better in the NCAA tournament. DeCourcy says that's never happened before. They have a chance to get that done. Big weekend coming up at the Big 12 SEC Challenge.
That's what I hope with all the parity that you'll end up. It pays off down the long run. Conference titles are great, but you're going to want to play better in March. The last night, K-State, one of maybe the top free throw shooting team in the conference. Iowa State at the bottom, so it's going to go down to free throws. The guy misses one. It's a 3-point game. And then who steps to the line? Caleb Grill. So he makes a pair. It's a 4-point game, but then he fouls a K-Stater, and he makes 3 free throws. So it was an interesting free throw finish.
80-76, Iowa State gets that victory. So is this a case? A lot of times you see this, everybody says, wow, a conference is just tough as can be, but can you have that many great teams, or you just have that many good teams? I mean, can a national champion come out of this group of teams that we're seeing right now in the Big 12, or is everybody just really good? I mean, if you have 6 teams in the top 4 of the NCAA tournament, 4 seeds or better, that gives you a better opportunity, I would think.
The team that kind of worries me
in there? I don't know.
TCU's the one that scares me. They're not only... A lot of these games are close. When TCU wins, it's by 20 points. So it's who's to say that any one of those teams can't go off and beat anybody in the country at any given time.
And I think we could learn a lot about Big 12 basketball at the SEC Challenge coming up. I think it'll be a great chance to learn exactly kind of what you're talking about, whether this is just a bunch of good teams beating up on each other, or if this is some great teams playing some other great teams.
So you should go out and win these games. So here are the matchups in the SEC Big 12 Challenge. Auburn plays at West Virginia. West Virginia hasn't won a conference game. They'll try to do that tonight when they take on Texas Tech. No, Texas Tech hasn't won one. West Virginia's won. So it's 1-6 against 0-7 tonight. Iowa State plays at Missouri. Missouri, they've been playing better. They had like 16 three-pointers in their win last night. Alabama at Oklahoma. Why we have that game offered to us from ESPN Radio, but we'll have it on the air 12:30 on Saturday here on KBGB. Texas Tech at LSU. TCU at Mississippi State. Arkansas at Baylor. Texas at Tennessee. Florida is at Kansas State. Kansas at Kentucky. Ole Miss at Oklahoma State.
Can I ask you something really quick? Does Texas and Tennessee classify as an Orange Bowl?
I guess he's dabbling in humor now.
So you're here all week.
Yeah.
No, but that one is the big one. Normally KU Kentucky would have been, but KU's on a slide. Kentucky's out of the rankings. Still
Is
KU Kentucky.
So yeah, big boy basketball coming up this weekend. Alan Clark, they'll go to Arc City. Did you get Cole taken care of since you almost sabotaged?
I did. He almost left without a power cord. Had that stashed away, but we got Mr. Rife set out. He's ready for a good call.
Did you learn something from that experience?
I did. Always make sure you give back all of the equipment, not just part of it.
And check your case to make sure that everything's in there.
Exactly. Make sure before I leave tomorrow, I got to check. Make sure I got everything before I head down to Lawrence.
Don't come in there and mess with that equipment that's in that room in there, though.
No, I've got my own. I've got
okay.
Got quote-unquote my own.
Okay, all right, very good. So we'll have that doubleheader for you tonight. Big games for both the men and women. 5:15 pregame on B104.3 the point. Kyle Haxton, his team came up with a big win last night, 61-46, knocking off Phillipsburg. The Phillipsburg girls beating Houston 47-21. Coming out of the bullpen, the 6'6" right-hander, Aaron Clark, for the ailing Mike Hesher last night.
The irreplaceable Mike Hesher.
Absolutely. So what do you think?
Had a good time. It's been a lot of fun getting to watch some Hoisington basketball. Didn't really have a lot of opportunities before the past 2 days really to watch him a whole lot because Mike's been doing such a great job covering him, but really like the way...
You guys want money from me or something? Gee, me Christmas.
No, just making sure you know we appreciate you.
Okay, all right.
You catch a lot of flack. Got to make sure you know you're appreciated too.
Thank you. I do catch a lot of crap. Hold on.
You're playing hurt. We had a... I'll say we almost had to have the starting pitcher come and fill in anyway. Had some issues with the computer beforehand. Had to call Hesher. He had to come help out. To be fair, it was something he hadn't seen the computer do either. I didn't feel nearly as bad about it when he got there. I was like, yeah, I don't know what it's doing either. But
So you guys got it.
we got it all figured out before the broadcast. But
Well, as you talked about, Webby, you think that the studio here has some Patrick Burnett things in there? Guess what the email address was in there? It was Patrick Burnett. I'm going, he's doing it to me too.
yeah, it was so bizarre trying to log in, and it wants me to log in with Patrick's old
Can we
email.
change
It's
the
just-
key code or something here? I mean, I don't know. Just kidding, just kidding. So Tony Moore's playing, they're making a huge difference to the Houston Cardinals right now.
I think Kyle said, the head coach of Boise, Kyle Haxton said last week, he plays bigger than what they have listed at 6'1". He's pretty good inside against some people up taller than he is.
He is, and it's impressive to watch him go from like looking like he's going to really try to power his way inside to then changing up to a finesse and kind of turning into the paint and just hitting a floater or a little jump shot there from about 10 feet.
Okay, so they split. They're off this Friday. Ellenwood, they were in action last night after the Winter Jam, just like Hoisington. Boys got a 55-36 win at Minneapolis. The Minneapolis girls beat Ellenwood with a score of 46-20 last night. Some other games. Boys side, La Crosse beating St. John 59-34. Dighton 57, Otis Bison 36. Chase beating Natoma 58-45. And on the girls' side, it was St. John 44, La Crosse 33. Dighton beat Otis Bison 61-49. And Marzoff's Fighting Cats at Chase beating Natoma last night with a score of 49-37. Okay, this football game, we're going to talk a lot more about the Chiefs and Bengals coming up here in just a little bit. ESPN's Ian Fitzsimmons saying they'll be in a much better place than most teams if they have to use Chad Henne at quarterback. Brought up a good point. You know, you have these starting quarterbacks, but who's your backup? Henne's a pretty good guy, especially you got the guys. He's got to make pretty good money, come out there and just stay sharp and be able to come in and perform, man. That saved the bacon on Saturday.
I think we definitely saw the benefits of having a veteran as a backup there when Henne came in, because he came in and there was a certain level of calm and composure to the way he played. But I was actually talking with a couple fellows earlier today about how even if Mahomes does go out, like the Chiefs can still run their offense with Henne, and I do think that's a bit of a misnomer because they're not going to be running the same offense with Henne on the field as if they have
If they
Mahomes.
do, you just don't have those plays
Exactly. It's
that
not going to
Patrick
be...
Mahomes has, stepping inside the tackle, rolling to the outside.
Right, and even some of those, just because Henne's not going to be able to make every throw from the pocket even than Mahomes is. Mahomes just has a better arm attached to his shoulder there. And I think really that's going to be the big thing we see is how ready Andy Reid is to adapt to a more Chad Henne offense if the game swings that way.
Look out there. That's Brock Purdy waving at you saying, don't forget about me.
Big. How could it? Iowa State, man. We've talked about it.
That's the other game. That's the other game. Herm Edwards, yeah, they'll have to alter that offense on what Mahomes will be or will not be able to do in that game. 5:30 kickoff Sunday. Scott Rowland elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. You don't like that selection?
No, I think they said it was, by the lowest percent since 1995 or something, but he was around a while, but
5 votes to spare above the 75% needed.
nothing ever stood. The Hall should be reserved for extraordinary, and I don't know if he qualifies.
Well, I think there's been some other guys that have been accumulators in their career that are in the Hall of Fame.
Derek
Do you have
Jeter.
a special accumulator wing?
Yeah, the Derek Jeter wing.
Are you Derek Jeter is not worthy of the Hall of Fame?
A lot of people say that.
Oh,
captain.
That's great.
The captain.
Best play I ever saw in the Oakland playoffs when he cut the ball off between.
Yeah.
He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for that play.
I would agree on that.
Roland had a 281 batting average, 316 home runs, 1,287 RBIs with the Phillies, Cardinals, Blue Jays, and Reds accumulated. And finally, the call on KKS. I don't know what he was singing there. Hesh, you're Colorado.
Corner,
native,
beg your pardon, in the corner. McDermott lets it go. Tipped in, and it is a deflection. Hey, Mambo Cagliano.
Andrew Cogliano scoring a goal in the Avalanche win over the Caps last night with a score of 3-2. Okay, there's your sounds of the past 24 hours. Sports headlines. You were down at Great Bend High School last night. Heck of a duel between Great Bend High and Garden City. So they brought out the Andre the Giant for their final match, and that decided it between Garden City and Great Bend. They just opened the cage up, and here came Andre the Giant out for Garden City, and they end up winning the duel 42-36.
Yeah, Garden City ranked kids up and down the lineup, so they took the early lead, but Great Bend's kind of powerhouses in the middleweights. So they end up tying it up at 36, and like we said this morning, poor Brody Schnoblin has to go in there and face this defending state champion and just a kid who looks a lot bigger than most heavyweights. And he's talented to boot, so that is a tough matchup.
And that guy's the defending champion, right?
Yeah, fourth place as a freshman, returning state champ. I believe he's a two-time All-American out of high school, so...
That's kind of have a good guy to have your closer in there, so good pictures that you took, too. So I've never seen a man jumping up like that in a suit before, like Nathan Brockelman last night.
It was that was the Hayden Kelly match, so that was, I think they'd lost 4 of their first 5 matches. He comes in and gets the pin early, and they probably knew at that point they were going to need every point they could get going into that.
Okay, the Garden City girls winning 52-30, and I figured with the other sports that you like, that you would like this. Have you been following the Michaela Schifrin story?
I know she's a skier. What's she up to?
Well, she broke a tie on the all-time women's list with former American teammate Lindsey Vonn. She's 27 years old. She's going to steamroll this record.
She never performs because they always hype her up for the Olympics, and she never performs at the Olympics, and she knows that. So I do root for her only because she's an underdog now at this point, even though she's world class. But she's a Colorado girl.
She's fun, man. If she was in another sport, she'd be like, have all kinds of... If she was a gymnast, she'd have all kinds of endorsements right now.
LSU.
Michaela Schifrin, a Sports Day salute to you, Michaela. Anything else on the Royals trade yesterday? We talked about it. Alberto Mondesi and an additional player.
So I saw
Josh
this
Taylor.
morning, the White Sox want Nicky Lopez.
Get him over.
No, not... I said, Michael Taylor, that one hurt a little bit. Mondesi didn't play, so it's hard to miss him, but little Nicky's one of my guys.
They
Leave
lost
him alone.
100 games the past 2 years. Nothing hurts when they traded him away.
Well, maybe he'll play another game in Omaha, Hesh. He'll have a chance to hit another home run. It's his second of his career.
He hit 300 2 years ago, and as we know from 14 and 15, base runners are very important.
It's going to be interesting to see this year with the bigger base. You can only throw over 3 times. The pitch clock. I think we're going to see stolen bases come back in. That's what we're looking at Ayuka adding a bit of speed to that hustle lineup so we can win that stolen base category.
Wait, how big second base going to be? It's going to determine how big the slides are.
There you go, our headlines, and one more thing from Aaron Clark.
So we got old Bill O'Brien. If you guys remember him as the Texans head coach from a few years ago when they had a 24-0 lead over the Chiefs in the playoffs. Chiefs come back to win that game. He's actually going to move on to be the Alabama, or he was at Alabama as their offensive coordinator, now moving to the Patriots as their offensive coordinator. Going to be back working with Patriots quarterback Mac Jones, who he actually coached some at Alabama, but should be fun potential if the Chiefs get to play the Patriots. Look over at that other sideline, have some fun memories with old Bill O'Brien, and then also just little rumor mill going around that the Jets are going to be prepared and willing to trade for Aaron Rodgers this offseason if the Packers make him available.
Don't sleep on the Jets. I think if Breece Hall doesn't go down early in the year,
they're a talented team.
And they've got a very good defense, too.
One of Sauce Gardner, that rookie cornerback they have, he's the first rookie cornerback
His
to
first
make...
name is Sauce?
His first name's Ahmad. Sauce is a nickname. Ahmad Sauce.
Oh, you're calling him,
Gardner.
okay.
Well, he goes by Sauce. Like, he's listed as Sauce. Like, that is what he goes by. That's his, but that is not his given name. But he's the first cornerback to win, or to be named the All-Pro as a rookie since Ronnie Lott in 1981.
he's almost as good as Kool-Aid.
Yeah. It's almost. We got Sauce drafted last year. Kool-Aid gonna be drafted. We just gotta get a meal in there, and we'll be ready.
Lady Panther basketball coming up next here on Sports Day Sauce.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction. They have quite a few jobs scheduled for the new year, and mainly equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
Attention high school juniors. Explore your career paths at Barton Community College's Junior Day, February 15th. This Friday, Friday features a beautiful sport, giveaway, charity, and scholarships will be up for grabs. Learn about a variety of career paths, some which can get you in the workforce and making money in just one semester. Sign up online at juniorday.bartonccc.edu through February 1st to attend Junior Day. GT Tires, the tire experts of Great Bend. Generations of buyers, come back time and again. Out in the field, out on the road. GT Tires has the name to know. Like Bridgestone, Firestone, on GB you can depend. From the service like it's always been. Don't need an equipment, just bring it in. GT Tires, the tire experts of Great Bend.
If you like your work but don't like where you work, then P&S Electric is looking for you. P&S Electric has openings for electricians, generator technicians, and general oil field workers. P&S needs experienced, positive people who are willing to work. P&S is an established local company that's been serving the area for more than 33 years. Great pay and great benefits. Apply in person at P&S Electric, 1/2 mile west of 10th and Patton Road, Great Bend, or online at ps-electric.com. Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. Mike Corson, joined today by Lady Panther basketball coach Cindy Beck and junior Mackenzie Premer. Big weekend for you guys.
Yeah, we do. We have a big weekend coming up. You know, we've kind of had a little bit of a break since last Tuesday, kind of that mid-year break for us. So we got a little time off, some time to rest our legs as we get ready to head into our tournament this weekend up in Lawrence.
And either one of you can answer this. Had the little skid there, but then you get the big win at Dodge City. How important was that kind of for an attitude adjustment going into the 10 days off?
It was really nice coming off a win into the tournament. It got us out of our low. So really excited to go and play some teams that we haven't seen before.
Yeah. And I think in our first WAC win, you know, I think that WAC right now was pretty wide open, though, with the sense that Dodge actually had beat Liberal the week before. So right now, you know, everyone's kind of sitting in a chair of an option, and we got to keep trying to grow going into those WAC games. But we'll actually take a little break from that before we come back to them.
And I was kind of hoping maybe, haven't seen these teams, maybe a little bit easier. You got several ranked 6A teams this weekend.
Yeah, I was going to kind of keep that a secret from the girls overall, but yeah, we do. It's a tough tournament. Looking at it, you know, we got Blue Valley to start off with, who's got a really strong player in Jaden Wooden, number 24 for them. She's a strong kid, and obviously we got a little bit of the film that we got to watch. Shawnee Mission Northwest actually beat them last week in a real close game, and so hopefully we can kind of take some of those tips from things they did with it and put it into play as we get ready to play them on Thursday.
And Mackenzie, as a player, probably not going to be familiar with these kids or these teams at all. Does that make it more fun going into 3 games or a little bit more challenging?
A little bit of both, but it's fun to just get out and play and do what we know how to do.
And for you, Coach, I know you have to do the scouting side of it. So
Yeah. You know, I think it's kind of one of those things. We worked yesterday in practice just talking about all the different options of things we might have to use. We talked about how when you go 3 games in a row, the downtime and the prep time isn't there as much. So we kind of worked on different defenses that we might want to use or options we might want to look into, and then talked about offensively as well, the different things that we might have to kind of use and prepare for in a quick turnaround. So that's always kind of a different thing that you see when you do those 3-day tournaments. But I think it's kind of exciting for us. You know, we're going to try to throw some junk defenses maybe in some different situations, and the girls kind of look at you like, wait a minute, what are we doing? But I told them we did it actually on Tuesday against Dodge. We threw a box and one at them, and I said, well, this time we're actually going to practice it in practice before I just draw it up on a whiteboard and say, here, go out and do it. So hopefully that was something beneficial for them, and something our group, you know, has been kind of fun to watch them grow.
Talking to Lady Panther basketball coach Cindy Beck and junior Mackenzie Premer. So in the past, they've gone to the Hayes City Shootout to open the year, coming back and forth every night. This year it was, the Kingman, so it was a lot of back and forth travel. Mackenzie, how fun to know that you're going to be on the road for 3 days with all the girls.
It's really fun. It's a great bonding experience. We all hang out, play games in the rooms, enjoy our time together. It's really nice.
Coach, do they get to go somewhere nice to eat, like the Salty Iguana?
Oh, I don't know. We haven't planned out all the dinner plans. We'll see how the game goes Thursday, right? Do I get to hang that over them? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, it is. It's a fun experience to kind of get away. You know, like she said, the group of girls we have are a great group to be around. You know, we were even talking yesterday, kind of prepping for it, and they're already thinking, hey, do we get together and do some card games and stuff like that? So when you get to have a bunch of high school girls that are okay with checking out and spending quality time together, that's a cool thing to have, and it's just something we all kind of look forward to.
You get the win at Dodge City, and you have struggled with some scoring this year. What was the practice plan the last 10 days?
You know, we're both kind of preparing for those same types of things. I think one of our big focuses is still trying to be able to knock down some of those outside shots. We've been working a lot, really, for the last month or so, really catching the ball on the move and putting up the shots and just gaining confidence in that.
Kenzie, anything that you've in particular worked on? I know you hit some big free throws late in that game.
Yeah, just scoring in general. I know.
No, I think that's one of the things all the girls have tried to really focus on is trying to find their moments of when they can kind of step up and knock down their shots. You know, Kenzie's got a real good one-dribble pull-up that she's been working on a lot and had a lot of success with this year, so hopefully we'll continue to see that as well.
So the Lady Panthers are going to see 8th-ranked, sorry, Coach,
Yeah, that's all right.
Blue Valley at 4:30 p.m. at Free State High School in Lawrence, and then if you guys win that, probably looking at...
I think number 3 ranked.
So...
We'll just tell Kenzie, keep it on the down low, right?
But in reality, you've seen a couple undefeated teams here.
We have.
I feel like that's kind of prepped you for especially seeing some teams that might not know who you are.
Yeah, I think both sides of it. You know, that's the one thing is we're going up against kids that we don't know as well, but in the same sense, they don't maybe know us as well either. You know, I know Kenzie's one of our players that we ask a lot out of her defensively. And it'll be something, again, we'll use this weekend of trying to find some of those key players. Like I said, Jaden on Thursday, we'll use both Kenzie and Jill to kind of try to lock down and man up and just try to contain them. You know, obviously they're not going to hold her to 0, but trying to keep it within a game and make someone else beat us.
All right, Lady Panthers, 4:30 tomorrow in Lawrence. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
More sports day after this.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Bowl support? The Blues Sports local programs are quickly in the several first. Every opportunity to kick the team to great top collegial levels. Support the Cougar Bowl support is in the network or business. Call 630-790-9377. If you have Blues for today, go Cougars. When you need to get ready to play and you want the pass, you need to see Dr. Dan Quinn at Kettles Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. Call Dan at 620-42-4825. That's 282-4825. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse at 9th and Madison in Great Bend.
Next Step Wireless. Not only are you getting a great deal on those devices, you're also getting them with a great customer service guarantee. We'll help you get your information transferred from your old phone and help you learn the ins and outs of your new phone. Next Step Wireless.
The people that we serve, we may have seen the day before. At school, at church, or in the grocery store. You're our friends and our neighbors and deserve the best of care. So when your health is an issue, we'll be there. At Clara Barton Hospital, our guiding purpose is creating great patient experiences.
And Chad Henne will be in the shotgun here. Then he throws near side. Kelsey's got it. Touchdown! Kansas City, and Chad Henne leads a 98-yard Chiefs touchdown drive.
The Kansas City Chiefs host the Cincinnati Bengals for the AFC Championship game this Sunday. Pre-game show at 4, kickoff at 5:30 from the Westwood One Radio Network. Chiefs football sponsored locally by Next Tech Wireless, the Odin Store, American Plains Co-op, 10th Street Liquor Stop, and Office Products Incorporated. Catch all the play-by-play right here on B1043 The Point.
This is what we need to play when I'm coming out of the bullpen.
Stingers up. Welcome back to Sports Day here on KVGB, brought to you by Barton Community College. Get online or dual credit classes at Barton. Earn a certificate or associate degree while in high school. Learn more at gobarton.com. Also, you're running out of time to sign up for Junior Day. That's coming up on the 31st is the last chance to deadline, or for the deadline to sign up for Junior Day. And also, nursing application deadline has been extended now to February. Are there 28 days in February this month, or is it 29? Is this a leap year?
No.
Okay, all right, very good. I'm sorry. Oh, election. Oh, every election year.
That is right.
Really?
For the president, yes.
Look at Heshy.
I'm telling you what, you need to get a. I can't hear you with your mic, man. We're still working on these things.
We're still working on it.
Okay, all right, very good. Oh.
Well, that made a lot of sense. Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah. Creative solutions for modern problems.
Okay, all right. The Chiefs and the Bengals already the big storyline, and I get it. Is Joe Burrow ready to supplant Patrick Mahomes, who's had the best first 5-year start of any quarterback in NFL history? And will he be supplanted by the newcomer, Joe Burrow? That's what it's all about, this game. That means you think, well, who cares who wins? It's going to be who's on top of the quarterback tree.
And I've seen this sentiment kind of held a couple times in the past where, who's the best quarterback in the league? Well, who played last week? Where we kind of get to this attitude where whoever the last quarterback standing is in each conference, well, that's the best quarterback in the conference. That's not really how football works. It's a team sport. Just because the Bengals have I'll show you, they have a pretty fair shot at winning this game coming up, but I don't think that will necessarily move Joe Burrow above Mahomes. And not taking anything away from Burrow, because he's had an excellent beginning to his career as well. Both of them have made the AFC Championship every year since their rookie year. Granted, it's a little shorter of a time for Burrow, but still, it's 2 for 2 so far. But I wouldn't be quite ready to put Burrow past Mahomes unless he just has an 8-touchdown, no interception kind of wacky AFC Championship game.
He's impressed me ever since, man. I mean, LSU, that national championship game, he was just impeccable. I mean, he was so good. He's like, you talk about Joe Cool, and I know I heard somebody on ESPN compare him to Tom Brady. He's got the same mannerisms. He's very calm. He's very confident, and I don't know. And he's got Jamar Chase, okay? You talk about, with Tyreek Hill being gone. Tyreek Hill was a little guy. Man, Jamar Chase is huge, and he can run like a deer.
Jamar Chase is not built the exact same as Deebo Samuel, but kind of been built in a similar way where he's a wide receiver with really a running back's body. Whereas a lot of times wide receivers, we see him, well, a great example is Colin Johnston, the wide receiver coming out of TCU this year. He's 6'4", 215, just a pterodactyl out there. Long arms, spindly kind of guy. It's not really how Chase is built. Don't get me wrong, he's got some long arms, but he's got some built, like, not, it's weird to say a wide receiver has weight on his frame, but he just carries some weight on his frame that makes it hard to bring him down for these cornerbacks one-on-one. And it's just so fun to watch him get aggressive at the catch point, too, because he's about 6'1", 6'2" in there. But he just goes up with such strength and explosion at the catch point. It's really fun to watch, and the connection him and Burrow have is just maybe the best in football.
Now, of course, the storyline is Patrick Mahomes. I think he is going to play, but it is going to be limited. The biggest thing the Chiefs, I see, are going to miss with Mahomes if he's limited, they're one of the best teams in the league on third down and long. Third down 9, third down 8 yards to go. Why? Because number 15 makes it happen. He extends plays. He runs for the first down. Chiefs need to have good first down plays. They need to get that second and short. They can't, take a chance with a pass where it's going to be second and 10 or third and 10 because they're not going to be as efficient on third down. That's my biggest concern with their offense going into this weekend.
And really, you see kind of the benefits of that because when the Chiefs get into these situations where it's third and 7 and third and 8, I'm not even sweating it anymore. It's just
third and 15.
You expect it's like, yeah, Mahomes will not even necessarily just throw the ball up to Kelsey. He'll just wait and extend the play out until he finds someone open. And like you said, they're not going to be able to do that. And we've talked a couple times on the show just throughout the year. I haven't loved what the Chiefs' offensive tackles have been doing this year. Andrew Wiley and Orlando Brown Jr. playing the tackles haven't been great so far as allowing pressure, and Mahomes has been able to move away from it really well so far this season. He's going to not be able to move so well, and the Bengals have some defensive ends. Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson. Hendrickson 8 sacks this year. Hubbard 6.5. Those defensive ends are going to be able to be getting out there and getting after him, and Mahomes isn't going to have the same ability he's had all season.
You don't have to worry about maybe having a spy on Patrick Mahomes on third and long.
Exactly. You're going to be able to drop more coverage because if it's third and 8, he's really not going to be a scramble threat. You should be able to get Mike Hilton or someone, your slot corner, whoever's going to be close playing that line of scrimmage and off coverage should be able to get to him. So Andy Reid has his work cut out for him here, trying to design an offense where Mahomes can't extend plays.
And again, is Andy Reid available? I mean, everybody's just conjecture. We're not going to know. Andy Reid was having his press conference earlier today, and it was, what are you going to find out? Well, what are you going to do? Are you going to line up with the 3 tight end set? You're double tight? You're going to go? They've got to run the football. Isaiah Pacheco is going to be big in this football game. And like I said, they need to get something on first down because they're not going to have those third and long plays. But are they going to stick with the running game? Bengals aren't bad on they give up 4.2 yards a carry. That's in the upper quarter,
If you get 4 yards every play, you'll be in good shape.
But can you stay with it? Turnovers, obviously the turnover that Kelsey had in the last matchup was huge. You never know how that's going to go. I just have this feeling the Chiefs are going to win. Whatever. It's kind of like the same feeling I had that the Giants were going to pull the upset. I just wanted to argue with that, just throw it out there.
Yeah, of course.
But defensively for Kansas City, the Bills just missed tackle after tackle after tackle in that game. And they had guys that were running right by when the Bengals went, 3 wides. When they went double tight, Buffalo was able to stop them. But when they spread it out, they had guys running right by their running backs in the backfield for big chunk yardage. Chiefs have to tackle well. And so what do you want to take away? You want to take away that run? Pirine just scares me to death. He's such a physical running back. And Mixon can rush the football too, but he's such a great receiver. And then you have Burrow there. And there's a lot of problems for Steve Spagnuolo to try to come up with something creative that they have not seen before. And one, how do you confuse Joe Burrow?
And I think it's going to be a big moment for all of the youth that Kansas City has on their defense. All of these young corners. We got Jalen Watson out there, Trent McDuffie. They're both rookies going to be getting some significant time playing in the postseason, playing a conference championship game here against some very, very talented Bengals wide receivers. Maybe the best trio in the league with Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and then Jamar Chase leading the charge there. It's incredible because Tyler Boyd, about 4 years ago, was the number 1 wide receiver for this team. Now he's the number 3, and he's just eating from the slot so far.
So how is this big? I mean, the big offensive line, that was supposed to be the reason they were going to get beat by Buffalo. I mean, you got 3 starters out. They've got 3 listed as questionable for this week, and yet they just dominated the Buffalo Bills, of course, who have not been very good against the run, especially in the last quarter of the season, last third of the season. But they've got bandaged up defensive linemen.
And one thing I want to make sure we don't forget about Buffalo and why they may not have been the exact team we were thinking they were going to be in the play. They did lose Von Miller. He was playing out of his mind early in the season. He tears his ACL. That's a big, or I don't know if it was an ACL now that I think about that.
In fact, I think he's better. Von Miller at this point in his career is a better run stuffer than he is.
And that's what we've seen. And he's still been a very quality pass rusher. But these past couple seasons, we've actually seen his run defense improve past his pass defense. And so they lost him, and they still had some depth there. But credit goes to Jackson Carman on the Bengals offensive line, the second-year player out of Clemson. He's listed as their backup left guard and left tackle, I believe. But he's been subbing in for Jonah Williams and arguably been performing better than Jonah Williams was at that spot at left tackle. So big credit to him because last year in that Super Bowl, he was actually in at guard, and he was one of the weak spots. He got bullied by Aaron Donald in that Super Bowl and allowed a lot of credit. Exactly. That's unfair. Unfair of me to say he got bullied by him because that's a heck of a competition for a rookie in the Super Bowl. But watching him be able to grow and develop this year, and I believe before the Bengals offensive line started getting injured later in the season, through 15 weeks of the season, their starting 5 had the most snaps played together of any offensive line. And whenever you get that kind of chemistry developed between a group of 5 guys, their play is going to improve because you just really start to know, like, all right, if this, say I have a defensive end who's 2 yards outside me, if I'm playing next to a guy all season, I'm going to know, hey, he'll have my inside shoulder. I can get a little more aggressive on my pass set out to him, and it just really allows for your offensive line play to improve dramatically season to season.
Well, it's going so the Chiefs and Cincinnati. I just have it's hard. How are you going to beat the Chiefs 3 times in a row? Well, okay, Patrick Mahomes slowed up. It is at Arrowhead. Joe Burrow's played in some huge games. I don't think that's going to be a factor unless they're down in that one end zone, and you've got that offensive line. But so who's going to win?
I'm liking the Bengals. I don't love to come out and say the Bengals are going to win, but I think they got a lot of things working in their favor. And with Mahomes being banged up, a lot of what makes him special, especially in the playoffs, is being able to extend those plays outside the pockets. And I think the Bengals have a good opportunity to get their second chance at a Super Bowl here.
Great discussion. You have 15 seconds. Who wins the NFC?
I'm going to go 49ers. Kyle Shanahan coaching going to be the difference maker there.
He's a good coach. Although I don't like that last name.
Can I get one more thing in? 3 of the 4 quarterbacks in the championship round are from the Big 12. Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. Alabama can't claim Hurts. He transferred to Oklahoma for that final year. It's all OU, baby.
I concur.
From the Big 12.
I concur. Okay. Aaron Clark with us. Aaron will be also... You'll be gone tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, unfortunately. I don't
get to test out the new back and all your toothpaste and everything?
Yeah, I've got getting my travel bag packed up last night a little bit. Going to finish that up tonight and be ready to go tomorrow.
Okay, Lady Panthers taking on Blue Valley, 4:15 with Aaron on B1043 The Point coming up tomorrow. Jordan Walbrock, voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers, joining us next.
From the Main Money Management Studios, 1590 KBAB, Green Bend, and 95.5 FM K230 CK, Hoisington.
H&B Communications in Holyrood is more than an internet company. H&B takes pride in supporting local schools, businesses, and organizations. Doing business with H&B goes directly back into the community. So you're more than a customer, you're a neighbor. Their state-of-the-art broadband technology keeps you in touch with your family, your friends, your customers, and the world. Find out more at hbcom.net. H&B Communications in Holyrood. Committed to connection.
Farmers depend on their equipment, and equipment depends on its fuel. Cenex Premium Diesel works as hard as you do and comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster even cleans up your injectors and prevents injector fouling. So your equipment can keep firing on all cylinders to make every day a field day. Cenex Premium Diesel. diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
There's nothing like A-Stem therapy. This is Tim Marcus from Progressive Physical Therapy in Hayes. Research shows A-Stem therapy improves muscle performance and neural functioning. It's highly effective for those dealing with tennis elbow, carpal tunnel, sports injuries, and general aches and pains.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy in Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
It's time to head to Tiger Town to talk Fort Hays State Tiger sports with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock, on Sports Day.
All right, Sports Day, Gerard Wellbrock joining us now, the voice of the Washington Generals. He'll be doing the play-by-play when the Harlem Globetrotters come to Gross Coliseum.
Yeah, there you go. Very coveted play-by-play gig, I might add.
Yeah, talk about a poor winning percentage, man.
Yeah.
He's always got those.
Never get a victory.
So you've seen the Harlem. So who's part of this group? I don't want to get into Harlem.
I don't even know.
It's not Curly Neal, is it?
Let's see. My very first Coliseum event, I was probably, I have to go back, 3rd, 4th grade. I think it was the second year that it was open. They had the Globetrotters. And it was packed. I know forever they used that picture for all their stuff because that's the only time it was sold out. It was Curly Neal, Meadowlark Lemon, and East Tatum, all the guys. I mean, the Globetrotters, and it was awesome.
Were you down in the front where you got the bucket of confetti thrown on you?
We were upper deck.
Really?
Someone showed me a picture they found. I don't even know who it was. They're like, yeah, I found this old picture of the Coliseum. I go, that's the Harlem Globetrotters. Look at their shorts. Like the Fort Hays game. And they used it forever because it was sold out. It was great.
So, okay. I always thought that was the University of Denver game that they had that picture of, but as a Harlem Globetrotters.
Well, they eventually did, but that would have been then 80, was that 80 or 81? So this would have been prior to that. So this was like the first time it was, yeah, it's pretty cool.
It was it was 1981, Gerard, because I was in night class, and the instructor looked at us like, why are you guys all here? We were told if there's less than half the class was there, we could let you go to the DU game. And more than half showed up, so he kept us about 45 minutes.
Oh, so that's a DU game. It wasn't a Harlem Globetrotters game.
I actually was at the Harlem Globetrotters game, too.
I remember that. I was in grade school. But, yeah, this was like 74 maybe when the Globetrotters came. They've been here a few other times, but that's the one I remember. That was the Globetrotters. That was fun.
Yeah, because they wouldn't be good. I mean, you talk about old-timers games. I mean, they bring the old Harlem Globetrotters.
I'm sure they don't have any around anymore.
No, there's probably not. Yeah, 98 years old, Curly Neal still hitting half-court shots, man. That would be
surprise me.
Gerard Wellbrock, voice of Fort Hays State Tigers. I'll just let you get right into it. Give me the week in review. First, we'll start with the Fort Hays State Lady Tigers.
Well, they had a good week. It was an interesting week with the weather and the travel, but went to Topeka, beat Washburn Wednesday. Hard-fought game. Washburn, they got a new coach. Former player was on their 05 national championship team, and they're kind of limited offensively, but they get after it on defense. And it was a grind-em game. Tigers, I think, won by 6. And, I mean, they had to work for it, but that was a good win. And then, I mean, they had every chance Washburn did to beat Kearney on Saturday. So I think as the season goes, that's going to be a good win for them. And then not a good start Sunday in Emporia against the Hornets, who are reeling. They've now lost 8 straight and 9 straight conference games. They just in one of those tailspins and can't get out of it. But had a 14-point lead in the first quarter against the Tiger women. And then the next 3 quarters, Fort Hays played really, really well. And, second half maybe as well as they played all year, and ended up winning it by 10. But it was a good performance. Katie Wagner, who missed the first 2 games out of the Christmas break with an ankle injury she suffered right when they got back. She looked like she was 100%. She was everywhere. One of the few games I've seen a team, Fort Hays had 24 offensive rebounds and 24 defensive rebounds in that game. I mean, they were active, and they play like that, they're going to be tough to beat. They've got some big ones coming up here the rest of the year, so that was a good sign for them.
Okay, weekend home on Thursday, Saturday at home, Northwest Missouri State Saturday, Missouri Western on Thursday.
They're all big, but tomorrow's game's huge for the women. Missouri Western is a team ahead of them. one game ahead of them in the conference, tied with Nebraska Kearney for second. Fort Hays State's a game back. Tigers beat them before Christmas, and Western hasn't lost. They've won 10 in a row since. Really good. They can shoot it. They're athletic. Fort Hays have to play really well. They played, I thought, one of their better games in St. Joe when they met them back in mid-December. They're going to need that type of effort again. And Western, hey, they won the regional here last year, so they're comfortable with the Coliseum. They feel good here. So you look at the Fort Hays State women, and the regional rankings aren't out yet. We're a few weeks away from those. But you get the feeling they're near the bottom or maybe just out of them. Everybody they need to play to even win an MIAA title is ahead of them. Their closing schedule's brutal, but full of opportunity, because if you can win these games, they have a great chance to win a third straight conference title. They have Central Missouri left, Missouri Southern left, Nebraska Kearney again, Missouri Western tomorrow. I mean, all the teams ahead of them or right by them, Pittsburgh State, they play them. So in a way, even though they're in fourth place right now, destiny's kind of in their hands, and if they can take care of business and get a little bit of help, they've got a great chance to be, and maybe at least share a conference title. So big final, 10 games starting tomorrow for the women.
For the Tiger men, they split on the trip. They lose at Washburn, then get a big 21-point victory at Emporia on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know. They did not have it on Wednesday for whatever reason. Fell behind 10-0, and they battled. They lost by 10, so they made a couple of runs, but just fell a half step slow for whatever the reason was, and just didn't play their best game. I know they've got a few guys, like everybody, going through some injuries and just weren't 100%. But then, man, Sunday, I mean, I don't know if they can play much better, and they just bullied Emporia off the floor. I mean, that was complete dominance. And once they got that lead, Emporia made a couple of little runs, but then Fort Hays had an answer. So I don't know if they can play that way the rest of the year, but if they do, they're going to be tough to beat. And Fort Hays is an interesting team. They're either really good or really bad. There's not a middle ground. It usually is shooting, and that's been a problem. Early on, they could not shoot well. Emporia, they shot great. And, I mean, they play hard. They do all those things defensively. They look like themselves after maybe a couple of games. They weren't as good. But, man, when you hit some shots, it changes everything, and then you have a performance like that. So if they could find even a little middle ground on the offensive side of things, they've got a chance to get some big wins and be a factor yet, kind of like they were a year ago.
Well, you got Missouri Western Thursday, Northwest on Saturday for the men, too.
And Western's long and big, really manhandled Fort Hays, and they played in St. Joe. And I will say that was Fort Hays State's fifth game in 11 days, 3 on the road. I think it showed the first go-around. It was that makeup when Western had to, shut their program down from COVID. But they're long and athletic and can shoot it. So it's just a tough matchup for Fort Hays State. And then Northwest, obviously, is Northwest, reigning champions both in the conference and national champions. And Fort Hays is, about the last handful of games, they've been right there. It'll be interesting to see if maybe they can hit a big shot. Seems like they've been in a position with about 4, 5, 3 minutes to go. They don't get a big shot, and then Northwest comes down, hits a 3, and now all of a sudden you're down 6 or 8. It's just out of hand. You can't make it up. It'd be nice for them to hit that big shot, keep the pressure on, and see what happens. But I think Fort Hays has played Northwest as well as anybody here the last 2-3 seasons, just haven't been able to get over the hump. We'll see if they can do it on Saturday.
Jared Welbrock voiced the Fort Hays State Tigers, also a lifelong Chief fan. So what are you feeling right now?
I go back and forth. Obviously, with Patrick not 100%, that concerns you, and I think it's going to obviously limit what they can do. But I got a weird feeling. I don't know why. I don't know. I have a good weird feeling. I don't know. Nothing to base it on, because I think Cincinnati is good, and I don't like Joe Burrow, but man, I like Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? I mean, I've been impressed, but I don't know. It's a weird feeling, and I may be gone by Sunday, and I have nothing to back it up. And I think the Chiefs are going to play well. They're going to find a way. But obviously, I like it better if Patrick Mahomes is healthy. But we'll see. It should be a lot of fun. There's no doubt about that.
You sound just exactly like me. That's what I said. Aaron Clark's naming every, starting lineman and backup lineman and linebacker and their mom and dad and everything. And And he says he's going to take the Bengals, which is probably the wise choice. And I said, well, I don't know. I just got this feeling. Maybe, you and me have the same feeling that's out there. So I guess I'll call you Sunday evening if it's wrong.
Yes.
So
Let's hope we're right.
Gert, thanks for the time. Always fun, my friend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, one and only Gerard Wellbrock here on Sports Day as Fort Hays State home Thursday and Saturday. So go check it out at Gross Memorial Coliseum. We'll be back. We'll wrap up the show here on a Wednesday. It's been another good one here on KVGD.
Attention high school juniors. Explore your career paths at Barton Community College's Junior Day, February 15th. This fun and free day features a campus tour, giveaways, yard games, pizza. And oh, did we mention $3,000 in scholarships will be up for grabs? Learn about a variety of career paths, some which can get you in the workforce and making money in just one semester. Sign up online at juniorday.bartonccc.edu through February 1st to attend Junior Day.
When you need to get rid of the pain, you want the best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. Call Dan at 620-282-4825. That's 282-4825. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse at 9th and Madison in Great Bend.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
This is kind of fun. It's the time, the last part of the show, the old guys get to sit down there and reminisce. They hear Cheap Trick playing, and I remember seeing Cheap Trick. They were the opening band for Journey at the Century 2 in Wichita. Good stuff. Mike Hesher, you're kind of like the guy that's been at every big thing. The Forrest Gump of Fort Hays State. Those two games Gert was talking about, you were at the first Globetrotter
I was at the first Globetrotter game, and this is the story about that is, we didn't know. My parents took us up there. There was 4 of us. We bought 2 tickets and got all 4 of us in. Because I think I was there for the whole game, but my mom and sister, my dad and my sister didn't go in the first half. So then my mom went out at halftime and gave the 2 tickets to my sister and my dad, so they came in. So we all 4 got in on 2 tickets.
On the Hesher combo pack.
Exactly.
And then you're at the Denver game, and that's kind of legend. It's kind of like the Wilt Chamberlain, 100-point game where everybody was there. And it was really, because it always said it was like 7,700 or 75, I don't know how many, 7,300, I think, what they had for the record for a long time. And there were people in the aisles, but then later on, Reggie Klitsky, who was the assistant athletic director for administration, anyway, Reggie, great star up at Russell, he actually decided, well, we ought to count all these tickets, or all these seats. There's 6,864, something like that. So, anyway, there was a lot of people there for that DU game that night.
That was the one, like I said, we stood because the instructor let us go early, like he was told not to after more than half the class showed up. But we stood in those aisleways, down below, and that was, they went from 10 down to win by 10, and I've never heard the Coliseum so loud in my life.
Was Cesar Fantuzzi on that team?
Cesar Fantuzzi, Zook, Luke Hammer, Mark Wilson.
Remember Bob Lowen? Cesar Fantuzzi. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be the Thursday Sports Day here on KVGB. Have a great day.
This is Agriculture Today, and I'm Samantha